All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Voice of the Colts podcast. I'm your host, Reef, the self anointed voice of Colts Nation. Not very excited to be here. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm actually freaking pissed. I'm actually livid. No, I'm not happy at all, and we're going to get into it. I We lost. We lost. And I'm okay. I'm not okay with losing, but I wouldn't necessarily be this mad if we didn't lose the way we did. Now the Colts went to Arrowhead and we lost to the Chiefs 23 to 20 in overtime. That puts us now at 8-3 on the year. We're still number 1 in the AFC South. However, little brother Jaguars are right behind us by 1 game at 7-4, and the Texans right behind them at 6-5. And we have yet to play either one of them, which means we have 2 more games against each of them that can completely sway this division. It's not looking good, dude. It's not looking good. I came here last week. I got on this podcast last week, and I told you guys that this wasn't going to impact our playoffs that bad, and it's a must-win for other reasons. And I just realized how effing wrong I was. Now, I didn't expect the Jaguars to win. I definitely didn't. I mean, the Texans had already won when I recorded the podcast, right? So I should have at least accounted for that, but I was hoping the Cardinals could take care of business against the Jaguars, and boy, am I stupid for thinking that. I was hoping Jacoby Brissett can hold us down. You know, he didn't hold us down at all. He let the Jags win. It sucks, man. It sucks. And I guess I'm gonna start this off, and I'm gonna start this off with talking about the fact that, I mean, dude, we had 13 yards of offense in the fourth quarter. 13 yards of offense in the fourth quarter and overtime. And overtime. We had 3 plays of offense in overtime. And it's unbelievable. And we were 20 to 9 to start the fourth quarter. It was 20 to 9 to start the fourth quarter. How the hell do you blow this game? I mean, seriously, a 2 possession game in the fourth quarter with the best running back in the effing league. It just, there are, words can't describe it. Words can't describe the absolute meltdown that happened in this week. And I'm going to start this with Daniel Jones, because every week we have to have the conversation about Daniel Jones. Because, again, I told you guys weeks ago, I wasn't ready to hit the panic button on him. I was still in favor of signing him. I don't. Ring the alarms! Ring the alarms! I think it's time to ring the freaking alarms, guys. I think it's time to ring the damn alarms. He was flat out awful. I mean, after the first quarter, like, what did he do? After, I couldn't believe his Daniel Jones was horrible. Absolutely horrible. From the 2-minute warning of the first half all the way to the end of the game. And there's no excuses. I've had people say this to me where it's like, well, the offensive line, he was facing a lot of pressure. They were all out. But so what? You're going to blame his awful performance on the offensive line? He was sacked 0 times. 0. He did not land on his back. All right? Well, he did. He got hit. It should have been some roughing the passer calls. And I don't want to get too much into refs, because that's the other thing people said. Oh, well, the refs were awful for both teams. For both teams. They were awful for both of us. The refs were just flat out awful. Like, they did a terrible job officiating this game. And I would argue it swayed slightly in favor of the Chiefs, but not enough for me to excuse the meltdown that we had. Like, this is freaking ridiculous. Guys, it's playoff time. Can we show some grit? Can we show some ability to win? Everyone said for the longest time, the Colts are a fake team. They're a fluke. They're fraudulent. They can't beat the good teams. And they're clearly right. They're clearly right. I hate to admit it, and I don't want to believe it, but, like, I look stupid arguing it. I get on here and I'm going to look stupid arguing that we're not fraudulent when everything shows the contrary. It's just unfreaking believable. Daniel Jones, he didn't have any turnovers. He didn't get sacked. Yet somehow this man he went 3 for 9. Let me see the numbers. 3 for 9, checks notes. 3 for 9, 17 yards in the fourth quarter. Dude, what are we gonna do? Honest to God, what are we gonna do about this? Because we're talking about a guy that's gonna be due up for a contract. It's probably gonna be north of $40 million if he wins a lot of games and stuff. I hope to God that this reduced his value massively, but we traded away 2 first-round picks. We're probably gonna lock him down long term, and I'm probably gonna lose all the hair that's left on my head, and all this is gonna go gray. All this beautiful beard I have is gonna go gray. I promise you, because that's what's gonna happen when we re-sign Daniel Jones. I'm sick of it. Now, we're going to talk more about Daniel Jones. I have a few guests that are going to join me later on in the show, and we're going to talk more about Daniel Jones, and I need to get to this next point right now before I absolutely lose my mind. Kash Patel, if you are watching this podcast, and I will be sending you this podcast via Twitter, I will send it to you. You have to investigate Shane Steichen. It has to be done. Full-blown FBI, every resource you have needs to be on Shane Steichen. Used on Shane Steichen immediately. We had 3 possessions. 3 possessions, guys. 3 of them in the fourth quarter. I'm going to read you. I have the log right now, right in front of me here on this screen. I know it looks weird when I keep turning over here. The screen is right here. I'm going to have this log for you right now. 3 possessions in the fourth quarter with the lead. With the lead. First drive, after we forced a fumble on Kansas City's opening drive of the quarter. We force a fumble deep in their territory. We go and we run the ball for -2 yards. Then, incompletion. Punt. By the way, we are punting it from our own 4-yard line. Yeah, that's what happened. We ran the ball, incompletion from our own 4-yard line. We did absolutely nothing. Gave them a good field. They score a touchdown. Easy. 50-yard drive, nothing. Short field, whatever. We get the ball back. Incompletion. 7-yard pass to Jonathan Taylor. Incompletion. 3 passes. 3 of them. Only 1 drained clock. Only 1 play drained some clock time. Then we force them to punt. We get 3 plays, -1 yards. We force them to punt the ball. Oh, by the way, 3rd and 4 at our 40-yard line. We're at our 40-yard line at 4th and 3. I apologize, 4th and 3. And we punt the freaking ball, man. And we punt the freaking ball. In what world? 0 4th down attempts. Not conversions. Attempts. Shane, we're going to get some more on Shane in a little bit. We force them to punt. Then we get a short field. Now we have a short field. Daniel Jones incompletion. Daniel George short pass to Michael Pittman. Then we're at Kansas City's 45-yard line. We're at Kansas City's 45 freaking yard line on 4th and 4. And we take a delay of game and punt the freaking ball. You cannot make this up. This was the worst management in history. 3 drives in the fourth quarter, and we burned 3 minutes. We gave the Chiefs every opportunity under the sun to win this football game, and they did it. And that's not even mentioning the overtime decision to keep the ball, to receive the ball. I don't hate that decision, but man, oh man. And let me tell you something else. I'm going to play a clip for you guys. This is what made me angrier than ever. Listen to Shane Steichen double down on the call.
Told you that he caught it?
This is correct. They said the ball didn't hit the ground.
That's about the catch from Noah Fant.
Okay, and then to follow up, into the game, fourth quarter overtime, how'd you feel about, I guess, looking back at it, just the time management perspective of it and knowing that you want to be aggressive to throw, but those seconds don't come off the clock and they keep getting chances to obviously come back and win the game.
Yeah, for sure. You always go back and self-evaluate those situations. I really thought, really that last drive in regulation, when we went pass there, could I have called some runs there? Absolutely. Could have called runs, ate some time there. But, hindsight, I just, it didn't work out. And obviously I look at myself first and foremost on all those situations to get better for our guys.
Let me tell you why that pisses me off. Do you remember the talk after the Steelers game? What happened after the Steelers game? Everyone's like, why did you abandon the run? Why did you abandon the run? And his answer was, well, we tried this and that, and we liked our looks, and it just didn't work out. And I have to be better for my team. And here we are 2 weeks later hearing the same freaking thing. Shane, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. I know I'm asking for a lot when I'm asking a coach to sit there and say, yeah, I was bad. That was a terrible play calling. That was terrible time management. I have to be better. I know I'm asking for a lot, but just take accountability like a man. Do not I do. Oh man, I just got to be better for my team, but that just didn't work out. I thought that it was a good place and it just didn't work out. No, I am stupid and I made very stupid decisions and I had 3 chances to burn clock and have the Chiefs burn timeouts and I burned 3 minutes in 3 drives and the Chiefs kept all of their timeouts. I did nothing to help this team win in the 4th freaking quarter and in overtime. That's what needs to be said, and anything less than that is a travesty. Cash Patel, get on the lines right now. I need a full-blown investigation. I'm about to blow a gasket, and you know what? I do have someone here, and I'm going to introduce it to this podcast now. Let me get my man in here who wants to talk a little bit about Shane Steichen's play calling. All right, and right now we got Ben from South Bend, Indiana. How we doing today, Ben?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing terrible. I can't believe you would lie to my face and tell me you're doing good. There's no way.
No, I woke up with just heart palpitations this morning.
Dude, I don't blame you, man. Like I have struggled with processing the emotions I have for this football game for all day today. And I was, I have a job where I drive around in the car all day, and I found myself screaming at Shane Steichen the entire drive for a whole 8 hour shift. I was just screaming at Shane Steichen, hoping he could hear me.
I feel you. I was driving back. I had about 45 minutes in the car last night, about 6 to 7 p.m. And I just about 30 minutes in, I just smacked my steering wheel really hard. Just let out a nice good scream for about 2 or 3 minutes.
Please tell me. I mean, I know you told me before this that you wanted to talk a little bit about the play calling. What are your thoughts? Let's start with your thoughts on the play calling.
So to start, I don't think that the season is over. I don't think the sky is falling. I'm not like a hot take guy. Like I think we need to everyone needs to calm down a little bit, relax here. And I haven't lost faith in Shane nor Daniel Jones. My faith is wavering a little bit though. I want to talk more about Steichen than I do about Jones here because we were talking during the game. I believe it was on the third drive we had, the second scoring drive, when Jones was under pressure, 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5, and he was under pressure, the pocket collapsed, and he stepped up and just threw an absolute dart to Ogletree in the back of the end zone, who made a great throw. Who made a great catch. I thought that might have been Daniel Jones' best play of the year. I did see that shows a lot of progression from his time from last week. I think we look statistically, he took no sacks, he had no turnovers. We all know about the Steelers game and how that went, and that was.
But dude, I want to give you just a little bit of pushback here. Just a little bit of pushback, because yes, that throw was good. What about the rest of the game, dude? He was flat out awful for the rest of the football game.
I hear you. I do. I really think he did struggle, and he did have that one pass that it should have been tipped off twice, and we got lucky.
Oh my God, the one into double coverage where they knocked the football out of their own hands. Oh my God, that was unbelievable.
That was terrible.
That should have been a pick 6.
Some of the blame. Yeah, that should have been awful. I think my issue the one thing that I take away from this game, if I was a media member and I could talk to Shane Steichen on the podium today, I would ask him, with Josh Downs, who is one of the shiftiest slot receivers in the NFL, Tyler Warren, who has maybe the best catch radius of any tight end in football, and Pittman, who's just this huge-bodied, strong receiver. How do we not have endless 3 or 4 yard pass plays that are 95 percenters. Like, how can we not get 3-4 yards every single play in these with these quick passes? That is the one takeaway from this.
And I think I mean to cut you off there, but I think that like I saw a stat about Josh Downs. I saw a stat about Josh Downs where he like leads the entire NFL in separation off the snap. And he's also a guy whose average yards per route is pretty low. So I think generally speaking, they do give him a lot of routes that are short, and they just don't give him the ball a lot. Like, that's the big thing there. And the other thing, too, was there's no screen passes. Like,
That is another thing.
yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like, all the run blitzes that they had, like, where's the screens?
There was one. They were Warren chip blocked. I think it was Karlaftis. And then he chipped him, and then Ben Jones passed it over Karlaftis to Warren, and it was like a 25-yard game.
Yeah, that was Warren's biggest play of the game. I remember that. Yeah.
That was our one. And that's not even a real screen. That's like
it's a tight end, like, flat. You know?
Yeah. It's just unfathomable to me that we have all of these receivers who are built outside of Pierce. Every one of our receivers is built for the short yardage, and for some reason on 3rd and 4, 3rd and 2, 2nd and 5, we're running out routes and fades, and we're curling, 10 yards downfield as, Chris Jones and George Karlaftis are in the backfield. It just makes no sense.
And here's the thing. I have loved Shane Steichen's play calling all year long. I'm not the guy that's going to go and just grill Shane Steichen for his play calling. My problem wasn't with the routes we were running or the call. It was, how do we have the lead 20-9 to start the fourth quarter, and we run the ball one freaking time? We have the best running back in football, and we ran once.
I hear you. I'm screaming at the TV. This is the same thing that happened like 3 or 4 years ago at this point when Reich, when was it going 2 or 3 years ago, when Reich was the head coach. And the offensive guys, they get too cute. I've been complaining about this for so many years. They try to outsmart the defense. And why? I think that Falcons game is an example of Steichen overcoming that cuteness. Give our best player the ball and let him be the best player on the field.
No, I hear you.
Anyone in the world thinks that Jones is more valuable this team than Taylor. But anyone on this team is more valuable than Taylor.
I hear you, dude. And
at least 50% of the time.
Yeah, dude, no, I hear you. And let me tell you something else. Like, when it comes down to it, like, we're throwing this football, and after the first drive, you get 2 straight incompletions, right? And that ends that first drive, and then they punt. And then the lack of going for it on 4th down, which drove me up a wall, because we are known for our 4th down success. And I hear him at a press conference talking about the 4th down decision to not go for it and punt the ball away. And his logic was, well, our defense is playing really well, and I thought, you know what, instead of giving him a short field, I'd rather give him a long field. And I thought, to me, I was like, you're assuming we're not able to convert a 4th and 4? Like, we have guys that are made for that. And you don't go for 4th and 4? Like, that's crazy to me. They take the delay of game instead.
The delay of game, you're right, though. The one run in 9 plays on those straight 3 and outs is just unfounded. Even if you think the Chiefs' run defense is really getting some, and it was, the Chiefs, and that's to take anything away from Kansas City. Steve Spaulding, great game. He was awesome. He was the MVP for the Chiefs.
Steichen is a scripted man. He's a great DC.
Great. I understand that you're not thinking you're going to get anywhere. We went 3 and out regardless on these low percentage out throws. Why not run? You have a lead. We had we had an 11-point lead with 10 minutes left, and a 3-point lead with 5 minutes and then 3 minutes, something along those lines, right?
It's crazy. And the talk about it was they're loading the box, but it's like, dude, we don't even need to gain yards. We just need to burn the freaking clock. That's it. I was thinking about it. It was the Chiefs had their plays when they scored that touchdown, that 2-point conversion, right? They had 11 plays and knocked off 5 minutes from the clock in the 4th quarter. And then we get the ball with about 8 minutes left, right? If you can burn off 2-3 minutes on that drive and punt the football. And then after that, we force them to punt again, right? We get the same thing. We could brawl off another 2-3 minutes. You win the football game. Like, that was always the plan. He steered away from his game plan to do something completely different. And the thing that makes me angrier than anything else that's Steichen about this was, dude's not taking accountability for that. He's like, oh, we had some great plays that just didn't work out. Maybe I could have ran more, but, we just had some plays that didn't work out. That's all it was. What? That's not acceptable. It's not your game plan.
I hate the play calling. I like the faith in our guys. But again, my main point is, how on earth do we not have a playbook full of guaranteed 2, 3, 4 yard plays? Even whether they're passes or runs, whatever they are, how do we not have a list of those plays?
And you know what's funny is people will I see this talk all online all the time about, like, oh, well, the Colts don't really make deep plays. They just dump the ball off. I'm like, that's furthest thing from the truth. We don't do that enough. I don't think we do it enough. I think we need to get those short plays out. I think we need to do screen passes a lot more. People are blitzing us like crazy. We have the Texans next week, which I'm going to get into a different episode in the preview that I'll post on Saturday where we talk about the Texans. But, like, that's a game where they're going to send some blitzes, and they got a great pass rush, and they got great linebackers and defensive linemen. They're probably going to run a similar thing that Spags ran against us. And I can almost guarantee you we're going to see maybe 1, maybe 2 screens at most. And it's just, yeah, Shane's got to figure this out. Again, as far as the play calls he makes over the course of the season, I have had no problem. My problem with Shane, and I think the overwhelming problem from this game, and it's large part why we lost, that was probably the most horrendous time management I have ever seen in my life as a Colts fan. That was absolutely horrendous, and it's unacceptable. I can't believe it.
I've had this conversation with people in my life, with football fans, with anyone that'll listen. It's mind-boggling to me how these offensive geniuses, these gurus, they have less idea of how to manage a game clock than your average, Jordan Madden.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Shane should probably play some Madden. He might learn a thing or two. He plays some Madden, All right. Ben, before I let you go, just as a nice little thing for people to kind of understand who you are as a Colts fan, I have a good question for you. Who is your favorite Colts player of all time? One guy. You have to pick one. Favorite Colts player of all time?
That is a big question. That is tough. I guess my tentative answer, just off the bat, is it would be Shaq Leonard, Shaq Leonard, whatever you want to call it. My reasoning for that is I grew up in Indiana, big Colts fan. When you're a kid, I like the blue team. Whatever. For sure. I watched a lot of football growing up, but I was in high school, and the Colts were very bad. That I think it was 2017, and then the next year they drafted Nelson and Leonard in the first and second rounds, and those two guys just completely turned the team around, and that is what got me back into the Colts football.
Man,
10-6 that year, beat Houston in the playoffs. That's what got me back in.
That is.
If I have to pick one, it would be Shaq Leonard.
You know what's crazy about that pick too, and I was gonna wait until after everyone, the rest of the guests came on and told me their picks, and then I was gonna present my favorite. But I have to tell you what my favorite is now. So I love that pick. The Maniac was absolutely a monster. Tragic to see how his career unfolded after the injuries to his back, and it's unfortunate. My favorite Colt of all time, actually, no, I'm gonna take it back. This isn't as crazy. I was gonna say Gary Brackett. Gary Brackett is going to be my number 2. And the reason why he's my number 2 is because of a moment against Jerome Bettis where he pops that fumble out in that playoff game against the Steelers, and we ultimately lost that game. I cried myself to sleep, and that was the day that I realized I'm a diehard Colts fan because I've never cried over a sports team before, and that was the first time, and Gary Brackett made me believe. I thought all was lost right before that Jerome Bettis run. I thought it's game over, we're done, and he made me believe, and I was like, I'll never doubt this team again. I love this team. But my favorite of all time is Marvin Harrison.
Yep, I think that's a perfect. I mean, there's so many great Colts players to pick from. That's a perfect pick.
Yep. Well, Ben.
Terrible to see how Darian ended, but
Yeah. Yeah. Ben, I appreciate your time today, man, and I hope to have you back on the show another time later on, man. I hope you have a great rest of your day, dude. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the time.
Sir. Hey, guys, and I get what he said. I do understand what he says about the short routes and everything, but man, the time management. The time management was nuts. All right. Well, now we have Anthony. We have Anthony from Rochester, New York. Anthony, what's going on, brother? Anthony going once. I think you're muted. There you are. How we doing today, brother?
Good. Feeling a little bit better. Slept on the loss. Woke up in a better headspace.
Yeah, dude, I don't know if I could say the same. I am not in a great headspace. I don't know if it's going to take me screaming for another 20 minutes to get over it, but I think that's what's going to end up happening today. Tell me, man, what do you want to talk about?
It's all about perspective, man. Like, listen, we won in overtime in Berlin, went on the bye week, came out of the bye week facing a Kansas City Chiefs team that was backed into a corner. Their season was on the cusp of being over. Their teeth were out. We had to go into their place. First half came out swinging. That was great look for us. And the Chiefs ended up winning in what was the 2024 way. The Chiefs won all their games in a one-score game. Ugly win.
Dude, we're their first win in a one-score game this year. We are their first win in a one-score game this year.
Correct.
Oh my God,
They
it's made me angry.
Pulled the rabbit out of the hat. I mean, that's they had to keep their season alive. They were playing desperate, and we were playing soft in my book, honestly. In the fourth quarter,
Does that concern you? Like I get, like you're saying at the beginning, like we gotta kind of tone it down a little bit. It wasn't the end of the world or anything, but like that doesn't concern you that in a late November game we're playing soft.
Well, you want to know what does concern me is the play calling. The play calling, I am concerned about that because for 3 quarters, it was perfectly fine. We could get whatever we want. Those are the 3 quarters that we scored. And then fourth quarter, for whatever reason, we took the ball out of JT's hands and put it in Daniel Jones' hands. I don't think that's a recipe for success. It never has been this year. The games we win.
Yeah, we win the game on the ground. We finish the game on the ground for sure. But the problem with that, the only problem I have with that is I don't have that much concern over the play call. I'm furious with the play calling. But as far as like concern for it, like I've loved the play calling all year. This was so different than what we've done all year. Like when we lost to the Steelers, right? Everyone was asking, well, why didn't we run the ball more? I was like, well, we were down by 2 scores. That's kind of why we didn't run the ball more in the second half. You had to throw the football. This is the complete opposite. We had a 2-possession lead in the fourth quarter, and we ran the ball one freaking time. Like, I understand the anger for that, but I don't think that I pray he's not going to make the mistake again. And if he does, I'm not ready to start calling for his job. But if he does, I'll be angry enough to start doing it. I'll tell you that much.
No. If it happens again, it starts to become a trend, and then more eyebrows will raise. I think he's a smarter coach than that. I do think he got outplayed. I mean, he outplayed himself. Like it's not like it's not outcoached. Well, yeah, I was gonna go there saying outcoached, but I think Andy Reid as a head coach is better than Shane Steichen. Yes, agreed.
It's fair to say. I mean, Andy Reid's been there for so long.
He outplayed himself. He thought he was going to expect them to run the ball in the fourth quarter, so he thought he could pass and get the first downs, and he couldn't. I don't know.
It's unbelievable because it's like, at what point do you realize, oh, they're stopping the pass. Maybe we should run and burn some clock. Like, because my problem isn't necessarily with the play calling itself. Like, I don't have a problem with calling pass plays if you complete them. Like, as long as that clock is right. Like, your main concern when you're up 20-9 going into the fourth quarter, and the way the Colts have done this for long periods of time, because especially with the way our defense plays. One thing about our defense is we're a very bend don't break defense, and I brought this up with Ben, the last caller, and I said, the play that the drive that they not tied the football game, the drive that they came within one score. They scored a touchdown to make it 20-17. Took them 11 plays, 56 yards, and 5 minutes was burned off the clock. We then proceeded to burn no more than 2 minutes off the clock in 2 separate drives. And it's like their final drive where they tied the game was a 15-play, 87-yard, 4-minute and 43-second drive to end regulation. It's like, dude, if you burned 2-3 minutes on those drives, on those 3 drives that you had, 2 minutes at least, 2 minutes. All I'm asking is 2 freaking minutes. We win this football game.
Yeah, you could have took the air out of the ball for sure. And to your point about bending but not breaking, you can't ask much more from that defense. Going on the road, playing in the elements,
I can ask one thing. I can ask one thing more of them. Tackle the freaking guy with the ball. That's one thing I can ask. And I'm a fan of bend don't break. I love that defensive mentality, but it only works if your offense can also burn clock and score as well, which we have done all year long. But it's counterproductive when you get 3 and out. It's completely counterproductive because now all you're doing is giving them the ability to burn all the clock and score and have the advantage. Even when they're down, they had the advantage because they easily could have scored a touchdown to end regulation. We had an insanely good goal line stand, which is amazing that we actually did that because most people would have elected to let the guy score so you get another possession. And the Colts actually stood their ground, which was insane. But so it becomes counterproductive. So that goes back to like, why the hell are we throwing the ball when we keep incompleting it when we know our defense is giving up a lot of plays? They're bending. They're not breaking. They only scored 1 touchdown the whole game. So they're doing a good job of not giving up the touchdowns and the big scores. But it's like, dude, if your offense isn't extending drives or at least burning clock, you're shooting yourself in the foot, man. And it's just unfreaking believable.
Yes, you win the turnover margin, and your defense was on the field for 92 defensive snaps. Something went wrong. Your offense did not help you out.
92 snaps.
Steichen did not help. 92 snaps the defense was out there for.
It's 2 of the games.
How about this one? You're going to like this one. Indy had 11 possessions in this game. Kansas City only had 10. How do we have 11 possessions in that game and not come away with more?
We had 11 possessions. We had 10 first downs. We had 10 first downs. I can't do this.
How many KC had?
Was that? It was what, 30 or something?
29.
29. Good Lord. Yep. Hey, this is unbelievable.
Silver linings, though. This is why I say we don't need to overreact. Okay, there was a 1-score loss against the Steelers, even though we had to come back in that game. Ended up only leading by 1 score. And then the Rams game only lost by 1 score, which turns out Rams are the best team in the NFL. Losing by 3 points doesn't look so bad after bonehead 80 Mitchell play. All 3 of those losses came on the road. So what do we learn from this? We need to win our divisional games, and we got to get home field advantage for the playoffs because we know we don't play well on the road, and we know Daniel Jones does not play well outdoors. We need to play in Lucas Oil. That's where we play our best football.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And I get it. I agree. But it's a problem. Like, it sucks that we can't win these hard games on the road. And the other thing about that, and I'm going to give you a little pushback on this, is it makes it a little worse that we're losing only by 1 score and the methods that we're losing them in. Like, when people brought that up about the Steelers game, it drove me up a wall. You're telling me that all that we needed to do was maybe 1 less freaking turnover and we win that football game? Like, that's insane. We turned it over 6 times. And then in this game, it's like all we had to do was run the ball maybe 4 or 5 more times and we win the game. And we just didn't do the simplest thing.
These are things that are correctable, though. Like, the way you're losing is correctable things. Like, I'm not saying that trading AD Mitchell was the correction. Maybe it was, but you got rid of a player or you either coach that player to not do that bonehead mistake. Turnovers, you cut down on the turnovers. Daniel Jones didn't turn the ball over today. He did try to when he
he got very close.
Knocked down, turned into a quarterback, but he didn't bring the ball. They took care of the ball. So we're correct along the way. And I bet you next week we're going to run the ball a lot more.
Dude,
It's things that we're learning from. And you want to know what? Here's why I say that the role. Yes, it's frustrating that you're losing these games on the road because we should be able to win them. We set ourselves up in position. Now is the time when you can lose them. You do not want to lose the road game in the playoffs, okay? You're learning. You're learning from your mistakes. You're learning from your losses. That's what I'm taking from this. That's where I have the positive outlook, and I say we can move forward.
Listen, you're a positive guy, and I admire your optimism. I just don't share it because the problem with this is now, and I listened to Shane's presser afterwards, and it sounds like verbatim what he was saying after the Steelers game, and it doesn't feel like we're learning because he kind of undid. Like, if he just followed the game plan he's followed the entire season, we win this football game. He changed it up for God knows what reason and created a problem that we never had in this game to lose against the Chiefs. It's like I want to believe he's gonna fix the mistakes, but like I feel like he's just doing it to himself at this point. Although we beat the Falcons in Berlin, I really didn't like that football game either, and I felt terrible about that football game. And I feel like at this point, I can't stand seeing Daniel Jones throw the football anymore. I can't stand it. The first half, up until the 2-minute warning, he looked good enough. He looked good. Offense looked good. We looked good enough. From the 2-minute warning of the first half to the end of the game, he was the worst quarterback I've ever laid my eyes on.
He went 3 for 9 on his last 9 passes.
3 for 9 on his last 9. It was awful.
In there play in there that's like, okay, you're guaranteed at least a catch, and get the ball in your playmaker's hands, have them make a play. Even if it's not a downfield throw, even if it's a check down, even if it's a swing pass, screen, whatever you got to do. Get the ball in the
He's not throwing those screens. Shane doesn't want to call a screen to save his life. They're doing run blitzes all game long, and he called, I think, 1 screen this game. I can't do this, man. And Daniel Jones, the biggest problem I have with Daniel Jones is that, dude, we're going to pay this guy a lot of money. We traded away our 2 first-round picks. We're going to pay this guy a lot of money, and we see what we have with him in the big moments. We see it. It's like unless we have a 20-point lead, it looks like at this point, I mean, an 11-point lead with 14 minutes left in the game wasn't big enough. I just don't feel comfortable with Daniel Jones late in the game anymore. I just don't, and that's the problem that I have with him right now. And it's the problem I have with Shane because he's relying heavily on Daniel Jones late in the game, and for God knows what reason when we have a 2-possession lead.
Yeah, agreed. No, you're making fair points. I would rather not have to drive down the field with Daniel Jones. I'd rather be taking the air out of the ball. So that's why I think most of this blame, the loss, goes on Shane Steichen and the play calling.
Yeah, I'm 50-50 with Shane and Daniel Jones together. I'm 50-50. Daniel Jones could have checked any one of those pass plays he called into a run because you guys got to. Someone's got to have some sense of time management. And Daniel Jones was, like I said, flat out awful for the entire second half of that football game. I can't put more blame on Shane considering the fact that Daniel Jones was just genuinely terrible in the second half of that football game. So to me, it's a little bit of both.
I mean, we're missing Defoe a lot. Like, we cannot allow Kareem Hunt to go for 100 yards. That's unacceptable.
Yeah, no, that's terrible.
If we somehow, for some reason, if they don't button that up and you let Lil Marks or the ghost of Nick Chubb run all over us, you're gonna get the same result as this week. So
I'm stressing that game.
Played well today, but you need to stop the run game.
I'm stressing the game. Let's get on a little bit more of a positive note here. I asked our last caller this. I'm going to ask you this now, too, to give the listeners and viewers at home a bit of an idea of what kind of fan you are. Let's talk about who is your favorite Colts player all time.
All time is tough. I mean, it's hard not to say Manning.
One. You got to pick one.
Because that's the one that I know. That's the one that brought me into the sport. But it's Andrew Luck, man. It really. I just love him. Love him as a person. I was a quarterback in high school. I would love to try and model myself after him. He was just always a stand-up guy. I loved him mic'd up when he would get hit and just compliment the defender.
Good hit, big boy.
It's like the big rage baiting, but he would genuinely be nice about it.
No, he's a great dude. He's just a nice guy, man. Dorky, nice Midwestern guy. And it's so funny that you say Andrew Luck because I, for the longest time, and you can reference any human being I've spoken to about Andrew Luck in my lifetime, I've only ever used one word to describe Andrew Luck, and it was magical. He's the most magical football player I've ever watched play this sport. There was never a game that you didn't feel like you could win with Andrew Luck playing quarterback. Even if you were down 30 points going into the fourth quarter, you were like, we got this. We can win this football game. He's just the most magical guy ever. I love that you said his name. That's awesome, man. Do you have any closing words before we move on?
No, man. I think it's these divisional games. You got 4 divisional games in the back half of the season. Yeah, Seattle, that's a tough team. San Francisco's not a walk in the park either. So going into the playoffs, which I fully believe we're going to make the playoffs, we're going to be battle tested. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I think we handle our business in the AFC South. And I'm excited, man. Back half of the season. Come on, November football. This is where we're at.
Hey, listen, it better look a lot better than the November football we've seen so far. That's all I'm gonna say there.
You told me in August you were going to be 8-3 going into Thanksgiving. Like if you told me that back then, I'll take that. Would you not?
Yeah, but we're not going back in time and asking that. We're talking about the Colts now when we have Super Bowl aspirations, and this is a different vibe. Like I've raised my standard after like the 4th week of the season. I saw what I needed to see, and I immediately set my sights to Super Bowl. Maybe that's my fault, but I just this isn't good enough, and it's infuriating.
It's not good enough, but you want to know what? Any team that comes out of AFC has some sort of flaw. Nobody is perfect. I mean, you look at all the other top teams, and I still don't trust the Patriots. I don't trust the offense for the Broncos. The Bills are down. KC's down, even though we just lost to them. Like, everybody's got flaws. So let's tighten it up. Let's hit this back half of the season. Let's make a run.
All right, man. I appreciate you giving us your time today, man, and hopefully we can have you back on the show next week.
Great talking to you.
Yes, sir. That's a positive outlook, man. It's a very positive outlook. I just don't share the sentiment, man. I can't. There's too much negativity to go out there. All right. Next up, we have Lamb from San Diego. My man Lamb, go ahead and take yourself off mute, brother. Lamb going once. Lamb going twice. Oh, no, Lamb, come on. We really wanted you here for this one. Guys, and the thing about, and this is the thing about the last caller, too, it's, I get the positivity, the overall positivity, I get it, right? And I want to share it. The problem with it is we've now gone into the stretch where the games are a lot harder, the games are a lot tougher, and we're losing them. And it's not in the good way. We're shooting ourselves in the foot, and I want to believe we're going to fix the mistakes. I just don't see it. And the other thing is,
oh my God, I remember we have Daniel Jones as our quarterback.
Daniel Jones is our quarterback. You understand? Like that's I can't do this, man.
That's my quarterback.
That's my quarterback. I'm not gonna cry defending Daniel Jones like Terrell Owens would. I can't stand him anymore. I'm losing my mind when it comes to Daniel Jones. And it's Shane Steichen is overly relying on Daniel Jones. And it's unbelievable, man. It's just unbelievable. And I don't know what we can do about this. I want to hope for the best. We have an incredibly tough schedule, and we have 2 divisional games. Like, the thing that Anthony brought up was that we're probably going to the playoffs. And I said the same thing last week. I don't know we can keep saying that. The Jaguars are 7-4. They have a cakewalk schedule. The Texans are 6-5. They don't have a difficult schedule. And we play both of those teams twice. If we can't beat those guys, just go ahead and kiss the playoffs goodbye. All that hype that we had. Oh, if we miss the playoffs, fire everybody. Just cut the whole team. I'm over it. I'm done. If we miss the playoffs, get rid of everyone. Call it an overreaction, if you will. Bro, I will go scorched earth. Like, there's absolutely no excuse for us to not make the playoffs at this rate. We are 8-3 right now. There's no way. But we have every opportunity to blow this. And the Colts have shown time and time again through the second half of the season that we will shoot ourselves in the foot multiple times. And when we do that, we lose games. And it's unreal. It's unreal. Now, I will tell you guys, if you're interested in joining the podcast and being a guest speaker on this podcast, like Anthony and Ben, join the Discord. The link is going to be in the description of this video. And if you're seeing a clip on TikTok or something, there's links in the bio for that as well. Join the Discord. Talk about it in the Discord. I reach out to everyone. I talk to everyone before I record. I ask who wants to join in on the call, and we schedule that time for you guys. And I look forward to hearing from other fans all over the place here. And with that being said, guys, I know I played myself out with some music last time, but then I had some audio filters that ruined the music, so I'm not going to do that this time. But I will be posting another video. Colts Texans preview will be posted on Saturday. The Colts play the Texans on. Is it a primetime game? I believe we got flexed. No, we did not. It's a 1 p.m. game. I lied. We're playing 1 p.m. November 30th, and I will have a podcast episode posted Saturday morning for you guys to listen to as I preview that game. Again, if you guys want to join in, go to the Discord. If you like this content, like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Share it with your friends. Tell everyone you know. This is the Voice of the Colts podcast. I am your self-anointed voice of Colts Nation. I appreciate everybody, man. Peace.